Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Corinne, and for my first official video, I thought I would dive headfirst into an extremely hot take. Canva. More and more I'm finding that there seem to be two camps of freelancers. One camp that doesn't mind Canva so much, and the other camp that thinks it is the single worst thing to happen to freelancers, on par with Comic Sans or Papyrus. Why is this? How can one single platform cause such a big rift in the freelance community? To me, this speaks to a larger phenomenon that affects not just freelance designers, but humans as a whole. Why is it so difficult for some of us to adapt to change? In this video, I'll be tackling those topics as well as some tips I have to make Canva your bestie. Or at least a casual acquaintance who you don't mind running into at a party. Let's get into it. For those of you sweet summer children who just clicked on this video with no idea what I'm even talking about, firstly, bless you. Secondly, let me tell you a little bit about what Canva actually is. Launched in 2013, it's basically a web platform that allows users to create social media graphics, apparel, presentations, resumes, all with designer-driven templates. It's extremely easy to use and just about anyone can do it. It can be accessed using any device, so you can make beautiful graphics on the go using your iPhone or your iPad. This makes it extremely accessible to all users. There are free versions that do allow for beautiful graphics, although you get a ton more functionality with their paid pro subscriptions. The brand really seemed to take off around 2018-2019 when more users started realizing just how powerful Canva's functionality actually is. And with the rise in popularity, naturally, comes the backlash. So, let's dig into the drama. Understandably, the freelance community has responded to Canva's existence with kind of a WTF. After all, if any old Susan can pick up her phone and make a beautiful, designer-based template from the comfort of her own home, are we even needed anymore? Does this render us obsolete? There's definitely been a rise of instances as clients using Canva graphics, which they made for free, as jumping off points in negotiations when it comes to paid designer work. Usually this is done to undercut freelancer prices, and the conversations tend to go a little something like this. Hello, I'd like to create a menu for my restaurant. What are your prices? Hello, my hourly rate is $50, and at a timeline of about 8 hours for this project, including revisions, that price brings us to $400 total. Whoa, that's way more than I was expecting. Can't I just use Canva to make the same thing but for free? Okay. So how does $50 sound? Or here's another favorite of mine. Here's the latest update of the last round of revisions of the project that we're working on. I don't know, it still doesn't pop. Here's a version that I made for free in Canva. Can we just do as close to this as possible? You see the frustrations here, right? Not only do designers feel like they're slowly becoming obsolete, but there's definitely an increase in clients believing that design work on Canva can and should be the gold standard. Obviously that's incorrect, but Canva isn't going anywhere. And if it does, it will swiftly be replaced by another app that does exactly the same thing. Now that web developers and app developers have seen what a boon it is to put good design into the hands of everyday people. But here's the thing. Good design should be available to everyone. I don't know about you, but I would much rather look at a beautiful social media graphic made in Canva than something made in Microsoft Word. No shade to Microsoft Word users, love that little paperclip. Frankly, not everyone can afford a great graphic designer, and that's okay. What, do we hate people who don't have money now? As designers, we need to be able to keep up with the advances in technology as they happen around us. There will always be another software update. We need to be prepared to pivot our offerings to include things that our clients can actually use. It's totally okay to be frustrated that these changes are happening, and it's even okay to side-eye any graphic designs that you say that were clearly made in Canva. You know all those beautiful gradient-based social media posts you see all over the internet? Yeah. I guarantee you there's a ton of audio engineers who side-eye any songs they hear that were obviously made in someone's bedroom in GarageBand. But that doesn't make those songs any less catchy or good. Stress and frustration with Canva and other apps that are constantly updating is not sustainable. And frankly, it strips you of your ability to see these things as the opportunities they really are. So my first tip to you, beautiful designers, is to analyze where your frustrations are coming from. Interesting. Sit with it for a while. In my personal experience and in talking with other designers in my community, I have found that the frustration seems to come from a couple of places across the board. Number one, you're worried that this is going to make you obsolete and that you'll lose jobs. Totally valid thinking and valid fear, but this is absolutely scarcity mindset. The existence of Canva doesn't mean that graphic designers aren't needed. In fact, just the opposite. Downloading Canva doesn't make anyone a graphic designer any more than buying a tattoo gun makes them a tattoo artist. Yes, they're doing the same thing at base level, but the mark of a really professional graphic designer or audio engineer or tattoo artist or anyone doing anything creative is taste, skill, longevity, dedication to the craft, etc. And trust me, if a client wants to ball on a budget of $15 for a logo or a menu or piece of apparel, they're not the clients that you want anyway. If they can't see your value, then they don't deserve you. There are plenty of other clients who do. Number two, you're bummed about having to learn a new platform. And honestly, all I can really say to this is big shrug. You're a graphic designer, and that's like kind of part of the whole thing. But on the plus side, Canva is extremely easy to use, so it's not like you have to go and learn After Effects or Illustrator, where it's kind of like learning an entirely new language. And possible frustration number three is that now lots more people have access to design when before they had to go through a graphic designer like us. Or maybe you're bummed out that younger designers are getting their start a lot earlier because they have access to graphic design tools that we didn't. This one is my biggest pet peeve. It's like extremely yucky behavior. It's very gatekeepy, and it's just like why? No one else's work or their path through this career has anything to do with you, and it certainly doesn't devalue you unless you allow it to. In actuality, you can leverage Canva to your advantage as a designer in a few different ways, which leads me to tip number two. Ride the Canva wave instead of letting it rock your boat. Is that even an analogy? I don't know, whatever. The first way I use Canva to my advantage is to give fonts a test run before I buy them. Canva Pro works with many different font foundries, like one of my current favorites, Tan Type Company, to have fonts accessible to their paid users, which means that you can go on there, test them out before you actually go ahead and pony up for them. And if you are anything like me, I would spend every single cent that I make on acquiring new fonts for my library, so this is an awesome bonus. Secondly, I really like Canva as a way to brainstorm ideas or mock something up for a client when I'm out on the run, because it's super easy to use from, like I mentioned before, an iPad or an iPhone. Sometimes it can be frustrating to be out and about and have an idea for an existing client or be talking to a new one and need to get something down right away, even if it's not the finished product. And Canva is a really great way to do that, kind of like a sketchbook. Thirdly, and most importantly, start offering Canva on your services menu. How annoying is it going back and forth with a client over single lines of revisions on a single Instagram story post or Instagram square? Super annoying. I don't know about you, but that sort of thing always really interrupts my workflow. It's also like, how much money are you really making from making one single Instagram story for a client, and how could that time be better spent? I highly recommend the service of creating branded Canva graphics for your clients to edit at their leisure. Think about it. You don't have to go back and forth with those annoying little edits anymore. You're gonna make a lot more money on a suite of branded content, and your client gets a bigger return on investment. Everybody wins. Plus, Canva Pro does make it pretty easy to do this because you can upload your own brand fonts, logos, brand colors, and create a brand kit right inside the app. You can pitch it to prospective clients like this. Even though Canva templates are editable and pretty, it's honestly easy, as we have seen with the gradient backgrounds, for everything made in Canva to look homogenized if it wasn't created by an actual designer. That's you. Plus, going with the flow is attractive to clients, and nobody wants an old stick in the mud who can't keep up with the times. At the end of the day, it's all about knowing your worth, as a creative, as a freelance designer, or even just as a human. People have a tendency to stick with what they know. Change is incredibly scary, and that's valid. It speaks to the fear of losing control over a situation. In this case, losing control over what's popular. But it's important to remember that a lot of things that we're scared of losing control over, we don't actually have control over in the first place. You can only really control yourself and your business, and your actions and your reactions. Is it really worth it to you as a freelancer to give up even a single moment of your peace? Instead, why not just make this an integral part of your process and your business? Could be cute, but as for Comic Sans and Papyrus, those can stay in the fucking trash where they belong. Thanks for watching. I would love to know where y'all stand on the Canva debate. Do you hate it? Do you love it? Why or why not? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with any designers that might need a little reminder that nobody and nothing in your life determines your value except you. Later, skaters.